I'll just wait to see if anyone else joins in here. Yeah. Before we get going.
Recording in progress.
Hey Ben.
I treat you well, Adrian.
Yeah, all is good, mate. Thanks, mate. Sun's starting to come out into the shirt, so I've just got down to a shirt in case it's gone in the next half an hour or something like that.
That's it.
For another couple of months.
Start pissing it down in a minute, I think.
So I've just said, well, nothing's going to work at the moment, and now that's fine. So I'm guessing you'll just highlight still like.
Should we get going?
Yeah, artwork.
Yeah, there's a bit of background noise there. Can whoever's got that going on, can you mute for
I
us?
think it's you, mate.
It will be me. Each answer I'll mute myself as well.
Thank you.
Sorry for this loud office. I can put you on loudspeaker if you want me to tell everyone to shut up.
Hi Martin, hi Ben.
Hi Adrian, good to see you, mate.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go, eh?
Adrian, last weekend was obviously very good for you with that win. Has there been an uplift this weekend?
Yeah.
Noticeable uplift in the squad?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was well deserved. You know, I think we've been building, and the performance has been better each week as we've gone along, and the inclusion of some players and John Asiata last week certainly got the group motivated, and I thought the rugby was pretty much consistent for the 80 minutes. So there's been a different vibe about the place. We've got to be careful though. I've been around rugby league a long time and know that the minute that you start fall in love with yourself, it turns very quickly against you. So playing against the Cass team that's playing very well at the moment and confidently, and they'll come here with all hope to get the 2 points.
Yeah, and getting the chance to go back to back then for the first time this season as well. I mean, on paper you look at Cass. I know you won't, but you look at Cass and you think it is the perfect chance to make it back to back wins.
Yeah, it's probably more about us than looking at Cass. Because like I said, I've watched them the last couple of weeks, and they're having a go as a group. They whilst they haven't been getting the results the same, they had a good win on the weekend, a big win on the weekend, and defended reasonably well at home there. So, but for me and us, it's just about maintaining our standards and keep developing the areas that we're looking forward to improving in this second quarter of the season. So, there's going to be a lot of responsibility on everyone to play a better individual game within the group, and again looking for more improvement.
You mentioned there that, or in a previous answer, that the focus is making sure you don't fall in love with yourselves from the win at the big win over Catalans, and not getting too high over that. How do you do that? Do you just have you not spoke about Catalans almost and just made sure the focus is purely on Cats?
No, we've tried to keep the process very similar, but I also want to promote and show the things that we did really well, because there were some things there that were as good as it gets in any big game during the season. So there are some standards there that we're starting to hit, and when you do that, it improves your chances of winning. So, like I said, Castle come here. They came here at the end of last year too as a confident side, and played really well against us, and it was game on right to the death. So we're expecting the same, but like I said, I want our players to be more about us this week and make sure that we take a step up, keep the attitude up, make sure we pay the respect to Cass that they deserve, and then looking for improvement from individuals.
I mean, something when you look at the table, there's like the top 8 are quite bunched in terms of points, but there's a 6-point gap to you. I know you've got the game in hand. How do you? This is going to sound really stupid because the obvious answer is win games. How do you close that gap?
I think it's not a case of looking up at the moment. It's a case of day to day, to be honest with you. Like, that's the focus and the philosophy behind me and the group at the moment. We've lost that edge from the start of the season, and if you're always looking up, you're always chasing, and it becomes a negative mindset, or a mindset where you're always hoping for a performance to be good, as opposed to let's focus on the now, be present with our performances, with our attitude, with our training, with our standards, and I think if we just make sure we look after it each day at a time, I think that will chip away at it. Then we can look at that at, say, the halfway part of the season. So, we can't get ahead of ourselves. We've got the win last week against the top of the ladder team because of the consistency over the last few weeks, but we haven't had an 80-minute performance until last weekend. So that's now what we're going to try and focus on. So I'm hoping that we can back that up. I know we will. I think we're in a different place than what we were. A few players added to the squad this week will certainly help.
Yeah, I was just going to ask for a roll call. How are we looking?
Yeah, a couple of nigglies from the game last week, which we'll sort out through to captain's run. But I think we'll add Edwin Apape to the 21 this week. Again, John playing last week. Got a couple of niggly injuries in the short time that he played, but he'll be included in the squad. So the big one is probably Edwin Apape coming into that, and he's looking bigger than he's ever looked and looks fitter than he's ever been where I've seen him. So hopefully he gets through this week in good shape, and then he can make that 17 on the weekend.
Yeah, I think so.
And with John back as well, and the positives that'll do. If you say Edwin's back as well, it's almost watch out, Super League Leah coming.
Yeah, well, again, let's not get too ahead of ourselves because those players probably need 6 weeks to get their form up as well. But we'll have some sort of headache in regards to the selection room and who misses out. Obviously, Dan Norman failed his HIA last week, so he's I think that was his second or third, so he's going to miss a couple of weeks now, sadly for Dan. But he misses out. But again, 18th and 19th man last week were Brogan and Darnell McIntosh, so those players might come into consideration as well.
Best luck for the weekend, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Hi, Lam, you right, mate?
Yeah, very good.
Just continue on the sort of roll call theme. Is Robbie Mulhern going to be back in contention?
Robbie Mulhern's probably got another week, so he's either Salford or the game after that. I think it's Huddersfield after the Challenge Cup semi-final. So he'll probably be in the squad next week, and if he gets through okay, he'll come into consideration.
Obviously, we sort of touched on it last week, but just how massive is it to have these players coming back for yourselves? Obviously, it's the key members of your spine.
Yeah, it's massive for our club. We've never had the biggest of squads, but these players as well are players that were playing the best in their positions last year. Some of them, Edwin Apape, Tom Amain, John Asiata, they've all been playing a great deal of time. Also, we've missed that experience and that just that next level for us. So, but like I said, I haven't dwelled too much on that over the last couple of weeks. I've just been focusing on the players such as the Owen Trouts and the Dan Normans, the Ben McNamara's, who have certainly come in and done a decent job.
In terms of those lads that have come in, then what's the sort of thought process with them now that maybe the guys that are going to take the starting spots come back in?
Next month of rugby as well. As much as we've enjoyed the players potentially coming back sooner now, I think the danger is giving them too much time too soon. So we've got to find a balance of who starts for us and the time needed per game for those players that are returning. We don't want to overcook them so soon. They need to build that load and that science part of the game. So we've got to make sure that we manage their time right.